right there. Okay, we are streaming Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all things exciting. Okay, so I've been telling everybody that if you're going to comment, to do it on TikTok. So if you're seeing me on any of the other platforms, the only place that I can see you right now is on TikTok. So this is going to be super fun tonight. I thought a great topic would be how to reduce stress around the holidays, because like who's not stressed around the holidays, right? And kind of funny story. I had this experience many years ago, and we were moving out of a big old house and we were downsizing. And what I experienced was that when we were cleaning out the attic, this was a very large house. And when we were cleaning out the attic, we found toys that my son, he was probably like 4 or 5 at the time, had never even opened. And so me growing up, my parents had huge Christmases. I mean, it was just like they kind of made up for all the things they did wrong throughout the whole year at the holidays. And so it was huge. I mean, we always had presents just packed underneath the tree. And so I kind of carried that tradition. So I was like, I thought Christmas had to be tons of presents. And so I remember one of my friends calling me from the store one day, and she was just like freaking out, super stressed, like panic attack. And she was like, well, I don't know what to do. I have all these presents. I kind of waited till the last minute. I got all these presents to buy. And I just told her, I'm like, your kids really just want you to be present, and I thought in that moment, like, I'm like hearing myself talk, right? And they would much rather you be happy and present than all this just crap that you're going to buy last minute that you haven't really thought through. So I know this is not even December 1st, but these might be some things that might help you. And if you are really stuck on what to do, that might be really cool. I have some really cool ideas for you. So if you really want to do something special for your loved ones, this might be helpful. And so one of the things, when we were moving out of that house, I saw presents that my son had not even opened. Like literally just the wrapping was off, and like Thomas the Tank Engine. I mean, all these expensive gifts. And I ended up like giving them away. And like he didn't even like, there was just too much. It's kind of like kids always even like the boxes, right? So they're there for the experience. And so really what I'm going to talk about tonight is how to create some experiences too. And of course, being the hormone queen, I want to say that on the front end, this is all about keeping your hormones balanced, and especially after menopause, when everything is so volatile for us. So things like eating. So I'm going to be talking about 3 different things. So one is going to be the stress of gift giving and some easy things that you can do that are really meaningful that will help your dopamine and your oxytocin. And I'm going to talk about meals and meal prep, because your insulin is going to crash if you're just like last minute eating crap and pizza and pie or whatever's in there. So you really have to have a focus on what you're going to do with that. And also some mindfulness practices. So 3 different things. So you got me for 30 minutes. So the last 10 minutes, I'll kind of open that up to questions if you guys have them. And so please tell your friends I do this every night at 7:00. So I'm here. Where else do you get a medical doctor who's going to come hang out with you for 30 minutes that you can ask questions to? And you can also, after the replay, in your comments, if they're there and I don't get a chance to respond, I will go back later and I will respond to every comment. So as long as the group is small, but as the group grows, I might not be able to get to everybody's comments like right away. It might take me, a day or 2 or some help from staff. But I promise I will get back to everybody. So please, if you have questions or anything, don't get frustrated if I don't get to them tonight. But that might also be a good reason to come tomorrow night so you can get your questions answered then. Okay, so let's dive right in. And I also want to tell you a little story that is, I went through some religious changes in my life, and I remember it was very interesting because we were kind of jumping around trying to find a church home. And one of the religions that my son's dad and I did for a little while was actually a religion where we didn't celebrate holidays. So it was sort of a Christian Jewish kind of thing. And we didn't even do birthdays or anything. And that was really interesting for me because it really helped me dissociate from the kind of pageantry of holidays, because we did still focus on, Christ's birth, and we did still focus on the Passover. We just didn't do all the gift giving and all those things that we get really attached to. But sometimes those things that we get really attached to, and I'm not talking about family experiences, but the shopping and the feeling like you have to do something for everybody can be really stressful. So that was really cool for me because I got to experience what those days feel like without all of the attachment. And one of the things that I decided too, I was just talking about my son, and after we downsized and moved out of that house and I found all those packages, I committed then to really focus on the experience, and I cut out everybody that I felt like I had to buy gifts for in my life. And that was huge. And it was really hard in the beginning. And then somebody would show up to my office or something with a gift, and I'd be like, oh, this feels so awkward. And I remember I used to keep gift closets just in case somebody showed up with a gift that I didn't have a gift to return. And it is okay for someone to give you a gift and for you to just say thank you, because you cannot be prepared if you work or you're in an office or you have, tons of people that you could potentially buy for, and you can't buy for everybody. So you just need to let that go. And that experience to me when I did that. And so what I do is I just give gift cards now, or like with my son, I'll tell him, tell me one big thing you want. Like this year, he said he wanted a Stetson hat and he needs new tires for his truck, which is, big investment. But anyway, so that's Christmas. I'll probably get him some little t-shirts and stuff, but that reduces my stress because I'm not worried about like the Christmases growing up where we had 3,000 presents under the tree. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Maybe you just kind of, maybe not this year because maybe you're already stressed out or you've been buying all year, but you kind of have to preempt that and tell people in your life, hey, let's just make this holiday season, without gifts. And sometimes you feel like they're going to think like you're being cheap or something, but just tell them, I get really stressed out around the holidays, and it would really help me if we had some sort of idea or, gift exchange, or even just keep a limit to it. So tell your friends $5 or less. And if you have to get me something or want to get me something, maybe it's something totally silly, or maybe you collect certain things like frogs or something like that, and just tell them, if we're going to exchange gifts, let's just have that agreement. And so, it has to be under this certain amount, especially if you have big families. It doesn't mean that you have to do that or get something for everybody, as long as you set the expectation and even talk with your kids. And a lot of times just with your kids having the expectation as well, so they don't think that they're going to get 3 billion things like they did last year, and just tell them, hey, I'd like to get you a couple bigger things and really focus on the experience of spending time together, because I think you can be more present if you're not worried about all that. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Okay, so some things that you could get people if you're trying to think of things and you want to make it more about the experience than about buying expensive gifts. One, I never thought about this, might be a cooking or a baking class. That could be really fun. And I totally need that because I can't cook worth a crap. So yeah, that could be a good thing. So anybody out there, if you want to get me a gift, that probably would be a good thing. First of all, I think you have to like to cook to want that gift. So we have to be mindful about what somebody wants too. Okay, I'll run through these kind of quick just for, brief time here. A spa day or a massage voucher, concert or event tickets, membership or subscription services. There's those things where like they'll museums and stuff. We have a great museum here in Northwest Arkansas, and so that might be something. Outdoor adventures, maybe shooting range. I have been shooting lately. That's really fun. So I've kind of learned how to shoot a gun. So that could be fun. Personalized workshops. Oh, you could get them a hormone program right through hormonebliss.com. And that would be really awesome. And it just starts with a test kit. So you can give somebody the gift of testing their hormones, especially if they've been frustrated and told you they've been to the doctor and nobody's listened. But maybe you could give them our program that has bioidentical hormones. So just a little shameless plug for that. You could do movie gift certificates, fitness or yoga classes. Make sure they want that first, but that could absolutely be a wonderful present. or a charity donation in someone's name. So that could be a lovely thing too. But, I don't think your 5-year-old is going to want a charity donation. So, of course, I'm being silly. Okay. So here's some cool personalized things. I love personalized gifts. And so I really have to think of these in advance. Unfortunately, my favorite personalized gifts tend to come at the last minute in my mind. I'm like one of those last minute, like I get so creative in the very final hours because I have a friend who had a birthday last week, the day of her birthday. I thought, I want to write her a song. So I wrote her a song and then my son sang it for me. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was just amazing. But the only way I was able to throw that together is because he's so talented and he could sing it off the cuff. So, okay. So a DIY photo album or a scrapbook, that could be really cool. I mean, all you got to do is go to Hobby Lobby and get a photo album and, print off some pictures off your phone or take them to Walgreens. You can plug them in. They'll print them right off for you. Personalized ornaments. You can go on Amazon. I love to do this. And you can do personalized gifts on Amazon. So people don't know that. But if you have photos on your phone, literally just type in personalized gifts on Amazon. And I have made blankets with pictures, like the soft fuzzy blankets with images. You can do coffee mugs. You can do, just all sorts of things. So, I mean, it's nuts. And then they also have those little personalized books you can do, and there are different apps and stuff, so you can go on and make little personalized and then type sayings and stuff in there. I love those. Arts prints. So there's a app that I use a lot called canvasprints.com or discount canvas or something like that. You just type in canvas prints and it'll come up. And you can just put art. And I just did this for one of my friend's birthdays. So I just printed that. And I'm also an artist. So I paint a lot. So if I have time, which I haven't a lot lately, but I love to give people paintings for Christmas. And sometimes I just have paintings that I've done and didn't have anything to do with them. So that's nice. So if you paint or if you can write music or write poems or something. And now with ChatGPT these days, you can write a poem in literally 20 seconds. So if you know anything about ChatGPT, and of course you're going to make it, GPT is not very personalized, but you can kind of put in some thoughts and it can kind of structure some stuff for you. There's personalized photo puzzles. So you can have a picture and like with your family, you can have a family photo and then you guys, you have it like printed and they're on Amazon. So just go on there and they can make you those puzzles. And there's always monogram clothes and stuff. That's not as personal to me, but it's kind of a cool gift. And customized stationery. So like just go on Amazon again and type in personalized stuff and it'll tell you so much. Okay, so hopefully those were cool gift ideas. I love that personal touch. If I'm going to give a gift, it absolutely has to be something personalized to me, unless it's something that I know somebody wants, right? So like my son wants a Stetson hat, but otherwise, if it's a birthday, if I can't make it something personalized, then it's not fun for me. It's stressful. So, okay. Now I said number 2, I was going to talk about one of the other things that comes up at the holidays is meal planning, right? So here's some ideas that might be helpful. So throughout the month of December, you could have theme nights like Taco Tuesday. Everybody knows that. But maybe you do Mexican on Tuesday nights, and then maybe you do Friday night pasta night. My son loves pizza night on Friday. It's just kind of been a tradition forever. But so you can mix that up a little bit. But if you have just that idea in your mind, like what am I going to make tonight? But you kind of know like a theme that's going to happen, or kind of help you keep focused a little bit. Okay, batch cooking. So anything like soups, casseroles. I love crock pots. One of my favorite things is just to get those mixed beans that have sort of the Cajun seasoning. And then you just, in Walmart, they have the ham, like the sliced chunks of ham. I don't like sliced ham or like the cubes. Those are kind of yucky to me. But literally, they're just chunks of ham. Or like we just had ham for Thanksgiving. And so I could even freeze that and I could use that and I could make ham and beans, or you could do pinto beans or put it into your soup. I love potato soup. And so basically I just take like red potatoes and I'll slice them. And then you can just put them in a crock pot with some ham and butter and some like chicken sauce or chicken. What is that? Chicken. the chicken stuff, like the chicken broth, and just really super stuff, easy stuff. So just Google easy recipes, and that can give you some crock pot stuff. So crock pot meals are great. One pan meals, you can Google that. Just things that you can throw in a pan that are super, super easy. Shepherd's pie, I used to always like to make that a lot. Super, super easy. Okay, so moving along. So pre-prep your ingredients, simple salads. I love to get those little pre-cut salads like at Walmart, and then like the rotisserie chicken. And then you can just throw that rotisserie chicken on a pre-cut salad, super easy. And I cheat a lot. I get like some of those frozen meals, but I always get the frozen meals, like the pasta meals or whatever, that don't have a lot of preservatives. So if there's more than 5 ingredients in the like frozen meals, I don't get them. But so I always read the labels on that. And then family friendly recipes. It's so nice around this time of year to pull out some of those recipes that mom or grandma had. Like I made my mom's dressing the other day, the other day, gosh, time flies. But yeah, so, just those special things are really important. So maybe make a list of some of those things that you really want to include like this month, and maybe work with the kids to do that, or your sugar cookies, or maybe your gluten-free oatmeal cookies, but, be healthy, of course. And then make sure that you have a grocery list. I love to shop on the Walmart.com or the Instacart, and just have stuff delivered to my house because it saves me so much time. And I was resistant to that for a long time because I was like, I don't know, that seems like cheating, or like, and I like to like look at stuff when I go, but you save so much money when you just have it delivered to your door. Because when I'm in the store, especially, they always say don't go hungry. And so like I'll be, shopping and like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. So it can save you money too, which can reduce your stress. So that's important too. Okay. So number 3 was mindful practices. So I'm just going to go through a few. And mindfulness to me really is about being present and really connecting and being there. And so you can't do that if you're on your cell phone. You can't do that if you're stressed out and worried about money and that you've overextended yourself buying a bunch of gifts that you couldn't afford. And you can't be mindful and present with your family if your hormones are unbalanced. So that's another plug to go to hormonebliss.com and get your hormones checked and then get them balanced, because it's a really important time of year, especially because you're making memories, right? You're making memories all the time, but the holidays especially, the holidays are super special to me. So I want to make sure that I'm very present for my family and I'm having a good time. And one of the things too, it just popped in my head that I learned a couple of years ago was I do love a glass of wine, but sometimes like when you get that little wine buzz, I kind of like disconnect a little bit. And so, usually like, and especially if I have like a second glass, I'm not really very present. And yeah, I'm kind of, having a good time, but I've kind of decided that if I, really, really want to be present and just want to kind of enjoy my meal or whatever, there's something called kombucha tea. And it's got a little bit of a vinegar, kind of a bite to it. And it kind of tastes like wine. And you can get the sparkling ones. And it gives you the feeling that you're enjoying like a holiday glass of wine, but you don't get sort of that, I don't know, overdone feeling. So that might be something that you might include in some of your gatherings and things like that. Okay, so mindfulness. I always talk about gratitude journaling. I do it every single day. That can change your hormones in an instant. Because if you can shift out of being stressed and feel, and just even if you don't journal, just to say, oh, I'm so blessed that my family's here, that my children are healthy. There are so many people this holiday season that have lost loved ones. And so if all your loved ones are healthy and well, just really embrace that. So that's super important. Okay, digital detox. Again, if you're sitting on your phone all through the holidays and not enjoying your family, and I'm so glad you're here with me tonight on TikTok Live. So, but for the most part, be present with your family. I mean, TikTok can wait. Facebook can wait. There's nothing that important that's not going to be there later when you have some downtime. So, and plan your downtime. So, if you're going to say, hey, you're going to be with the family, and then maybe like 30 minutes, everybody kind of gets their downtime and they can go do their digital stuff and go play on Facebook. But then say, like, okay, at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, we're gonna play cards or we're gonna do something like that. So if you have that downtime planned, then you're more likely to stick to it and not overdo it, because screen time can get away from you sometimes. Limit commitments. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say, I'm really trying to focus on my family this holiday season, and I so appreciate the invite. I would love to be there, but it is really okay. I mean, I've been reading a book called Boundaries lately, and it talks about your boundaries and that you're healthier for yourself and for your family if you limit your commitments. Focus on your traditions, focus on mindful giving, just don't buy a bunch of junk, and meditation practices. So you can Google breathing exercises and all sorts of things. And so one of the things is here's the hormone plug. You're going to decrease your cortisol if you can limit your stress. You are going to balance your insulin if you're mindfully eating and meal prepping and not eating a bunch of carbs. If you fill up on protein, you're going to be so much less likely to fill up on carbs and have those sugar crashes and feel like crap. So, with that said, I'm super excited about your holiday season, and you guys can reach out and message me and let me know how it's going. And I so hope that this makes a big impact. And I'm open for questions now. So we've got a few minutes here. So if you guys have anything, I'll just keep talking till somebody pops up with something. But I really think that hormone balance is super important. And as I'm just kind of waiting, I'll just tell you, for me, being 55, having bioidentical hormones on board and keeping everything balanced, my fiance always says, like, oh my gosh, like when I'm having like a moment, he's like, ugh, you okay? Did you take your hormones? So, and sometimes I haven't. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't. So I have to go take them. But at least I have them to take. And there are so many women out there who don't have them to take, who are living every day like that, who are crying all the time, who are exhausted, who can't get up off the couch, who aren't sleeping. And, hot flashes are such a drop in the bucket as far as what symptoms of menopause are, and even perimenopause. And I have patients who have a bunch of females in the house, right? Like daughters and wives, one wife, a wife. But like, if they have hormone imbalances, that could be like a mess. And especially like going through puberty, if you have a kiddo that's like coming apart and estrogen dominant, there's so many things you can do about that with natural bioidentical hormones. And so, one of the best gifts that you women in your life, I don't know if a guy wants, and I do have men that actually send their wives to see me, but they have an understanding that, hey, we've come together, we've decided that you really don't feel good. It's not about you're being not nice. It's really about, I've noticed, honey, that you don't feel good. I've noticed that you're not sleeping. I've noticed that you are exhausted. And so that can be an opening conversation. We could have a whole live on just that, how to approach your family to, encourage them to get their hormones checked. So I think it's just so important. And mainstream medicine, I call it commercial medicine, is just so into stuck in the box. And it's so sad to me that before the study that was done in 2002 that scared everybody and was just straight up lies. They took lies to the media, and they basically told women that 1 in 4 women on hormone replacement therapy was going to get breast cancer. And that is not true. That is the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, they did that particular study to actually show the benefits on the heart of HRT, which they actually did show the benefits, but nobody talks about that. But that women also didn't have the protective effect, and they were doing this study up to 10 to 15 years out from menopause. So those women did not have the protection of estrogen for the breast. So if you think about who gets breast cancer, is it a 30-year-old female with very high estrogen levels, or is it a 55-year-old female like me who doesn't have any estrogen if she's not on some sort of hormone replacement therapy. Well, it's someone over 50. So that's where the problem comes in, is that we don't have the protection during a certain period of time, and especially during perimenopause when our ovaries are almost starting to retire. And then we get into menopause when they've completely retired. And we just tell women, suck it up, buttercup, or the only reason that you can have any hormones is if you are drenched in hot flashes. And that is just criminal, because if you didn't have a thyroid, nobody would say that you can't take thyroid hormone. So if you don't have ovaries, which women's ovaries literally dry up, I always say if you check a woman's a pelvic ultrasound 5 to 10 years out from menopause, you will not see ovaries because they are gone. They are just gone. We are born with all the eggs we're ever going to have. And once those eggs are gone, our ovaries dry up. They're completely gone. So if you think about it like any other part in the body that were removed, what would you do for that? If you removed a thyroid, would you not give someone thyroid hormone? If someone had type 1 diabetes and could not make insulin, would you tell them you can't take insulin because that's going to cause cancer? But yet that is the narrative. So I just really want to encourage anyone who's within the sound of my voice to do your research. Don't take my word for it. But when you use bioidentical natural hormones in a topical route where it doesn't go through the liver, and you do it with someone who knows what they're doing in a balanced way, because it's not just estrogen that our ovaries make, it is progesterone that balances it out. It is also testosterone. Testosterone is very important. And in fact, women actually make more testosterone than estrogen. I see it every day in my practice. When I check a woman's hormone levels, she will have much more estrogen. Well, she'll probably not have any if she's over the age of 50 and she's been a year without periods, which is the definition of menopause. But she'll always have just a little bit of testosterone, usually. So, and of course, men have a lot more testosterone. So don't hear that in your head and go, what? Women have more testosterone than estrogen, apples to apples. So not giving a woman testosterone is almost cruel, because women also need testosterone. And just like men need testosterone for energy and muscle and libido, women need it too. And when our ovaries retire, we don't have that testosterone either. One of the beautiful things, which is our backup plan that God gave us, is something called adrenal glands. And they do make some of those hormones. But if you have long-standing emotional stress, prolonged stress, your cortisol is going to be high and your adrenals are going to get wiped out. And so your ability to make the ovarian, or what we call sex steroid hormones, is going to be very limited. So that's my plug. Do your research, please. And if you can't get anyone to test your hormones, or you can't get a doctor to help you, please check out my website, hormonebliss.com. And oh, she said complete personalized program through Hormone Bliss. Order now. Yay. Thanks for the plug. That's awesome. Yeah, so go there and at least get tested. We have our Cyber Monday special going on, which was a carryover from Black Friday. So literally this home test that we send you is usually $300, and it's only $97 this weekend. But it ends Monday night at midnight. So you have to get in, and then it's going to go back to the $299 again. So, but we do run specials from time to time, but why wait? Because the faster you get your levels checked, the faster you can get on a call with one of our coaches and get some personalized bioidentical hormone therapy. And we have tons of education and support to go with it. So you don't have to be scared of it. And you can know that it's actually not only life-changing, but could be life-saving. So tell your friends about that. Order a few kits for the ladies you love in your life. And I'm just super excited that we have the program, and super excited that I get to be here with you every night at 7:00. It was kind of rough tonight because we were installing some floodlights on my dear friend's back porch. And I was like, we gotta go. We gotta get home to our Facebook, our streaming and TikTok live. So anyway, tell your friends. And as long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep showing up too. I love you very much. Hope you have wonderful holidays and they are as stress free as possible. I know that's impossible, but as stress free as possible. And please send me a message if you have any questions or anything that I can help you with. I am known as the hormone queen, but I also love investigational medicine, and I can always maybe give you some ideas to lead you in that direction if there's something that's hopefully connected to hormones, because that's I call it my day job. But anything that I can help with and give you a direction, it is my mission to serve. So have a beautiful night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.